Hello. Welcome back after a very long, very needed hiatus.
Yeah.
Well,
we're back.
Yeah, we're back. Welcome back to BDF.
Welcome back. Should we do an intro for old time's sake?
I think we should. So I would like to first say hello to everyone that is listening and has come back.
Hi, welcome back.
I would also like
Great to have you.
I would also like to say hello to our people that are watching.
What?
We actually now are on video, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Although it is kind of challenging because now it's
I know. I'm like talking.
It's
to you
another
and I'm
thing.
trying to talk to the audience.
I don't know. I've never done anything like this before. Is it like you're not supposed to look at the camera? Are you supposed to look at the camera?
Maybe,
or you're not supposed to?
We'll do what we want to do.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, I like the sound of that.
But so there's been a couple changes recently. Oh.
Whoa.
But so there's been a little changes with BDF. Good changes. We're back. I don't know when we're gonna upload. We're recording on Mondays now, though. So
yeah, Mondays.
Yeah, it was a little bit of trouble trying to get started since we haven't been here, but we figured it out and we're here. And
yeah, it just means we can never have Garfield on as a guest.
Yeah, true.
Because I don't think he'll make it.
But so you know what? I would just like to say hello. My name is Jonah Hartman.
And my name is Kyle Worrell.
And this
is BDF.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. It has been a while. We are so excited to be back. We are so excited to be back in the CMI. And I think we've got a lot of really cool episodes planned.
I think so too. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Last time we recorded this, Jonah and I didn't live together.
No.
And now we do.
We do live together.
And I know him on such a more personal level than I did before.
I would say so.
Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. We'll see. What are you doing over there?
I don't know. I'm trying to fix my chair. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, no, we live together now. We live with two roommates. We live with Bova, who
has been on the pod.
On the podcast episode with...
And Jans from Washington.
Jans from Washington
Shout out
lives with
Jans
us too.
from Washington.
Shout out to them. I would like to actually also just apologize to our wonderful viewers as well as listeners.
Listeners.
But, we heard you. We heard you, asking for us to return. We needed to find the right time. Me personally, I know I was so busy with life.
Yeah.
And I just needed to, I also wanted to be able to set up. So I'm sure you all have heard now that you listened. We do have an intro song.
Oh.
So I hope you like that. Shout out to Ezra
Shout out.
He's my teammate on the track team here at Point Park. He is crazy with his musical talents. Maybe we'll get Ezra on the podcast sometime.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Shout out Ezra, and also shout out Point Park Track.
You guys
just did conferences, yeah?
We just won our conferences, which is really fun.
Look
really
at that.
Awesome.
How is that for school spirit?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. Not the entire school may know, but for the track team, pretty good. Pretty good. It did feel good to shout Point Park whenever we put all of our hands in.
That's nice.
It was nice.
Go Pioneers.
Go Pioneers. Yeah. But yeah, so here's a little bit of a rough rundown of what we plan on doing for BDF going forward. So as I have said, we have you lovely viewers out there that are watching. Hello.
Welcome. Take a seat.
Yeah, enjoy. Just relax, have some fun, grab some popcorn. I think we're going to be trying to upload. Spotify now does video, so I think we can try and get a video on Spotify, but I know for sure we are going to be having YouTube as well as Instagram Reels. We want to start uploading a little things on Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
And then as the video portion of the podcast progresses, we can have like little video edits in the beginning as our intro song goes.
Yeah.
But then, all of you guys who just like to listen, we've got an intro song.
Yay!
So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys continue to enjoy it, and maybe we'll switch things up, do some cool things with it. I don't know. But besides that, I know that Kyle and I have been talking, and we want to do a lot of interviews. We want to do a lot of interviews. We want to talk
to people. We want to hear
interesting
their stories.
people. We do.
Come on.
We're tired of just us two talking.
Yeah, this guy, please.
I live with him now, so I don't need to always be talking.
Yeah, I hear
to
this
him.
yapping every day. I want something new, some new perspectives.
Yeah. So we want to find some interesting people. If you know someone interesting, if you are interesting, obviously DM us.
I'll be the judge of that. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
But I know we want to get some interesting people to interview. I know we want to talk about some interesting topics, which I think today we've got a pretty interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah, I think so.
And we also want to do some entertaining stuff like we usually do. Get back to our roots.
Yeah,
you know?
fun little games. We'll do some.
So we're gonna
fun stuff.
We'll do a little bit of everything, and I mean we've got video now, so there's all sorts of crazy things that we can do with that. I know you've wanted to do mukbang stuff.
Yes. Yes, you're going to open a whole can of worms that I won't get into right now, but yes, I am very excited about the new possibilities that are opened from you. Hi.
Oh, it's so crazy. Also, to everyone that listens and doesn't know what we look like, this is it.
What you think? Impressed? Disappointed?
It was a little hectic getting this stuff set up today, so we might look a little I might look a little shaggy. I don't know.
I
need a haircut.
I probably look pretty good.
Okay.
That's it. That's all.
But you know what? Oh, another thing is that every BDF episode will not be an hour long. We realize
that's a big change. It's too much. It's too much.
I know. Me personally, I don't want to listen to an hour-long episode of Kyle talking. So, it's going to be however long we want it to be. If it goes over an hour because we've got some crazy interesting person on, that's awesome. If it doesn't, and it's 20 minutes, if it's 15 minutes, if it's 30, 45, whatever it is.
Yeah, we're going quality over quantity here.
Quality over quantity, exactly.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So.
Go ahead.
All right. So Kyle, Bova.
Shout out
Bova and I have been watching is it critically acclaimed? Whatever.
Probably.
It's BDF acclaimed. Euphoria. For those of you.
And we were a little late to the game as well.
We were very late. About a year.
Now we're fully caught up. Season 2 came out, released about 4 episodes, and then we started watching.
Yes.
But now we're up to date.
We're watching them every Sunday. Shout out Euphoria. Watch it every Sunday, HBO Max.
And that's what this episode is going to be about. However, I don't want to put out any spoilers or anything because that's not cool. But we will be talking about some some themes.
Yeah, some very interesting things about Euphoria. If you're uncomfortable by it, I'm sorry. But yeah.
Let's get into it.
But yeah. So Euphoria, for those of you that are watching or listening that don't know what it's about, it follows the life or lives of some high schoolers in a high school that does not exist in reality. It's supposed to be kind of realistic, but also like the things that happen in it are not realistic.
Well, I think here's why I think that's interesting because it's definitely not realistic. Mm-mm. But I kind of think it's a little bit. I'll get more into this as we continue to talk about it, but I think it's supposed to be a little bit ridiculous in the outfits and the promiscuous behavior because that's what you feel like as a high schooler doing those things, Yeah. I think it's all about like a perspective. Like obviously there aren't really high schoolers that go to school like that, but I'm sure there are some high schoolers that feel like they go to school like that.
Yeah, I agree. But so it follows these high schoolers. They deal with a lot of drug abuse.
Crazy.
They deal with a lot of, I would say, bullying,
mental health, domestic problems,
sexual themes without it.
It's everything.
There's a lot. It's a show that you watch it, and after every episode, if you are binging it, you probably want to take a break.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it is a lot. It's a lot to handle in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, is that show addictive?
It's good.
Oh my gosh, the drama is crazy, and that's probably why Kyle. For those of you that don't know, Kyle has gotten me into my drama-y phase.
Just a little pot stirrer. That's all.
I do like a little bit of drama nowadays, and I don't like to be a part of it. I like to hear about it.
Yeah. Third party.
And so Euphoria is just a show that really like, oh, she did what? Oh, he did this? What are you talking about? That's
no
crazy.
Way. Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun to watch that. And so it's a really good show. Amazing acting, amazing production, amazing music, the score, everything about it is fantastic.
Yeah,
so,
and you don't need us to tell you this.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, at this point, if you're not watching Euphoria, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. Unless you're a little kid listening.
Unless you're
don't
a child.
Watch it.
You're...
If you're under 16. I mean, technically you're supposed to be 18, but I would say, like, if you're 16, you probably have seen such things on the internet before that it's probably like, yeah, you can watch it, you know?
Yeah. But definitely if you're, like, I'm going to say, like, middle school and below. Let's not.
Yeah, let's not.
But honestly, that being said, I do hate to, I hate to think that kids can't handle things just because they're kids, you know?
I know, but still, it's a lot. It's a lot for me, and I'm 19 years old. So
yeah, that's
it's
true.
Like,
that's true.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'd be able to handle that at that point in my life.
So rephrase my statement. If you're not
just
if you're not 14 or below and you're not watching Euphoria, what are you doing?
Just listen to your parents.
And if you are 14 and below and you are watching Euphoria, what are you doing?
Or what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Let's talk.
What are you doing?
Let's talk about if you can add some awesome conversation about Euphoria and you're under that age.
Yeah,
whatever.
true. We'll bring you on the pod.
Yeah. But it's crazy. To
good
sum it all
show.
up, it's
good
crazy.
show.
Really good.
It offers a lot of good entertainment for the week, but like we've been saying, it does get a little heavy, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight.
Exactly. So I think to kind of go more into a. Not that it's not fun, but a more serious note, I feel like in today's age, in the shows that we're seeing, especially Euphoria, it's a fantastic show, but it's also a great example of this, is that it shows a lot of things that are kind of, you have a better way of saying it, but are kind of desensitizing the public?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think...
And I don't think it's wrong.
No.
I think it is necessary.
I don't think that Euphoria is desensitizing. I think we're already desensitized to stuff like that. And that's not to say that it's, easy to watch all the time. There are definitely moments, like you said, where it's like, I'm going to need a break after this, like just to like recuperate myself, But I think based on how we've just grown up, I think we are a lot more okay with seeing that kind of stuff on television than, say, like our grandparents would have been.
Oh, 100%.
Especially given the fact that, like, where technologies come from nowadays, you saw somebody get shot in a movie and it's just like, a little packet explode. And now it's like...
You're going to see their brains
The
come
technology
out.
is real. Yeah, like, it is real and it is real looking.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of stuff like that, whether it's violence or drugs or nudity, anything like that.
Especially in Euphoria. If there's anything that there is a lot of in Euphoria, it's drugs and it's nudity.
Yeah.
Profanity, there's a lot. I think profanity is just like becoming way more normalized than it used to be.
Yeah.
Because it's in everything.
Yep.
It's in your everyday life. It's in the shows that you watch. It's in everything. But for the nudity, especially, for example, in Euphoria, what I've noticed is and also what I've noticed in a lot of newer shows that are just coming out that are TVMA or anything like that. There's a lot of wieners. There's a lot of wieners.
Well, yeah, and that's also a thing too. I think Euphoria is amazing because it kind of like paints a good picture of how our world is changing in terms of like television media,
I agree.
Because it's like even 10 years ago within our lives that could never have been on TV.
Never.
There's no way. But now it's like it's on TV and we all love it. Like we all want. Like I want to watch it every single week,
Oh, yeah.
So it's like,
do I want to watch the wieners every week? I don't know. Kyle, but
well,
but besides that.
But it's just, like we're getting to a point now where everybody's a little bit more okay with scandalous things being on TV. And I wonder if that's going to keep going. Is it ever going to stop? Where's the line,
I will say, although it is inappropriate, I do think it's good for society as a whole because we have LGBTQ, all that stuff becoming more normalized. And like for yourself, you are a gay man, and I feel like it's nice to see stuff like that represented on TV, even if it is just like, being naked people. But also in this show, there's also a lot of like,
there's a lot of diversity too.
It's
crazy. It is just like, if you really sit down and think about it, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, but I think it's important for people to see because I do think it does represent in some way reality. Like, yes, it is a little bit far-fetched, but I think like any form of entertainment you watch is going to be far-fetched.
Yeah, I mean, it's TV. There's got to be a story, you know? Is that going to be super realistic all the time? No. But are there realistic moments? Are they highlighting realistic moments? Are they talking about real issues that are actually affecting people now? Yes.
Which I think is another thing that they are talking about that are real issues that do need to be talked about is Euphoria, as I said, is a lot of nudity. Probably its main theme is drug abuse.
Yeah.
It follows the main character, although there are like other main characters more supporting in some. But what's also nice about Euphoria is you never know. Every episode is different in the sense of a supporting character might be a main character of that episode,
Yeah.
But the main character is Rue, she's played by Zendaya, the
Shout out
Zendaya.
Come on the pod. We'd love to have you.
Would love to have you. Maybe you and Tom Holland. Come on.
No.
Yes.
Not Tom.
Please,
I'll get jealous.
Please,
we can't have Tom here.
What do you think? I'm jealous of Tom having Zendaya here. Come on.
No, I want to hang out with Zendaya. We'll have some girl
Okay,
time.
you're right. All right.
And then Tom can come after.
Okay, yeah. We'll do that.
Shout out Tom. Come on the pod.
Shout out
not
Tom.
at the same time as Zendaya.
Yeah, you'll have to work up to that. I'm sorry. But fantastic actress. But her character that she plays, Rue, is a huge drug addict. You follow her story and her process of going to rehab, coming out of rehab, trying to get clean, getting clean, and then relapsing, and all just the whole path of a drug addict that I do think needs to be publicized.
I think so too.
It's so prevalent in today's society just to kind of, look at someone on the street who obviously is on drugs or, does do drugs and be like, okay, whatever. Like, they're just like not human.
Right. There's definitely like a separation between like me versus them,
Which I will agree. I do that a lot.
Of course.
Walking down the streets of Pittsburgh, you'll see, like just the other day, I was in Market Square, and sadly I did see someone who was very messed up on drugs, who was trying to do like the standing up while like slanted over and hunched over and like just trying to keep balance, but also like not in like the world surrounding them, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just sad. And it's like you wonder, well, is this person, did they have a family before? Did they have a job before? Or before these things, this substance took over their lives, which I don't think you really think about a lot. Which in Euphoria, you see the process of it, which I think is important because that humanizes the person.
Yes, I agree with you 100%, which is kind of like where I think the meat of this conversation is going to be about, at a certain point, when is it too much to put on TV and when is it not enough to give an accurate depiction? Because I think talking about desensitization, yeah, I am definitely a lot more desensitized to things like that than my mom would be. However, I also think that could come with being more informed about something.
I agree.
At a certain point, it's like, well, do I need to tell this story that needs to be told and talk about this issue that needs to be talked about, or do I keep protecting the general audience or whatever? You know, what do you think? What?
I think that I agree with you. I think that as we've said about age, I feel like little kids don't need to be seeing people doing drugs on TV, because I do think it does have also an influence, because although it is a TV show and although it is highlighting the horribleness about drugs, it does in a way kind of, I don't want to say glamorize it, but it does make it seem fun, because the only parts, many of the parts you see are like them doing drugs at like a party and like, oh, a party's fun, like, oh, come on, like that's fun.
Yep.
And then it does show like the aftermath, or like the parts where they're alone, like Rue's alone doing drugs in her room or doing stuff like that. Like that's like the more deep, dark part of it. But then there is that fun part of that they do glamorize in a way that is like, well, if it's someone whose mind is developing, granted ours is technically still developing,
Right.
but I do think that if it's someone so young and so impressionable that if they do see stuff like that, they could be more prone to using or to be interested in it at least.
Yeah.
Now, and
I
I'm
would agree
sure
with
there
you.
are studies about that, and I'm sorry to our audience that I don't have those statistics up.
Well, I actually, I mean, I don't have any like statistics or anything, but I was having a conversation with somebody today, and they were like, yeah, talking about like old people versus young people, and it's like young people are more likely to make more, like long affecting decisions without really understanding the weight of them. Like without understanding the weight of like a life term, like if I make this decision now, it's a decision I'm living with. Versus old people, because old people understand, they have a greater concept of like what forever really is, you know? So it's like I'm 16.
Yeah.
That's a whole life. That's not that long, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I'll make this decision now versus you talk to somebody who's 80 years old and they're like,
who's made all the decisions.
They're probably going to think a lot longer about that decision than a younger person will. And I think same thing applies to what you're saying here. It's like even just the difference of being a college student versus a high school student. Like I think just experiences are just going to change the way you see things. And little kids are probably going to see something like that and be like, wow, that's really cool and fun. That looks awesome. Because it does. It looks fun. But then it's like you have those moments where I hope are getting highlighted enough where it's like the real consequences.
Yeah. And I agree. And I do think that Euphoria does a very, very good job of showing the consequences because, and something that I also really liked is they had, in between season 1 and season 2, they had 2 special episodes where one just was about Rue and one was about another character, Jules, who is Rue's like love interest / friend. Also, they have kind of a toxic relationship, kind of not.
Yeah, that's like a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. That's a whole other episode of talking about Euphoria.
Euphoria Part 2.
Yeah, it's literally. But
this is a Euphoria podcast now, actually. Welcome back, everyone. We only talk about Euphoria.
Yeah, sorry.
No, the episodes come out on Sunday and it's Monday, so we're going to talk about it because it just happened, okay?
Yeah,
I've been thinking about it all day.
But the special episode what also I found interesting was it was just Rue and her sponsor from AA or
NA.
Narcotics
Anonymous.
Yeah. Who and it's literally the whole episode is them in a diner talking. And it's real shit. Like it's real talk about I've lived this, I've done this. Do you want to follow down the same path? I've lost my family, I've lost my daughter. I'm here sitting in a diner on Christmas Eve talking to another drug addict. Like, do you want this life? And it's like the battle of like, well, yes, well, no, I don't want to have that life, but also I have this thing that has such incredible control over my body. Like, it's not even like your body has, and it also is shown throughout the episode, throughout the seasons, that the body also has there's a physical toll on the body.
Yeah,
even if you quit, you quit and your body's going to hurt because it's dependent on this substance.
Right.
Which I think is great that it does highlight that and it does show that. But to also come around to what you said about how it's like, it's like showing like, oh, well, the high school and the college and all that stuff. And not to say that it's glamorizing, but also like it does show like the fun parts of high school, the fun parts of college. But let me tell you, last Friday, I went to bed at 10:30 and I finished the Halo campaign. That's what my Friday consisted of.
It was a great Friday night.
It was nice, but I wasn't out, snorting coke, shooting up hair. Like I wasn't like doing some crazy stuff out in some house where someone's not like all like.
I think that's kind of where the conversation starts to get a little bit more interesting because then it's like, arguably, these people aren't choosing to do this.
That's true.
Like they talk about everywhere that like addiction is really a disease.
Mm-hmm.
At a certain point, I wonder, my question to you is say if you were a parent, like you are responsible for somebody else that is living in this earth, that is being exposed to media like this, do you do you want them to see like the truth of the world, or do you want to shield that from them as long as possible? Because I think there are benefits, pros and cons to both.
I agree. I think that
no judgment. I just am curious.
Yeah, no, I think that that's a very can be a slippery slope. I feel like it's more of a seesaw. Like, do you like what is the right age to expose someone to that? When is the wrong age? Do you keep someone hidden? Like, I feel like if you keep someone sheltered for so long, that's going to have consequences just on their socialization. You know, you see people who, not to roast any homeschoolers, but you see people who are
Shout out homeschoolers. If you were homeschooled, I want to know what that's like.
Yeah.
If you were homeschooled, let's get you on the pod. We'll talk about it.
Exactly, because I went to public school, and that's just crazy.
Yeah, I went to public school, a whole different experience.
Yeah. Nothing like Euphoria, but...
Nothing like that.
But it's like, you know, there are some people who are homeschooled, who are sheltered, who don't know how to have correct interactions with people.
Well, yeah, because like all of that stuff, all of the social skills that you learn that from like the day you're born up until you're like 12, you know?
I think you're learning social skills your entire life,
well,
in
right,
all honesty.
but I mean like the really
the base,
important ones.
More,
like
yeah,
the
I
ones
agree.
that really, really matter. It's like you get those at a young age, and the reason that our people can do that kind of thing is because we're communal animals, you know?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be together. And it's even better when all the kids are together, because then it's like you're growing up with other people.
I agree.
But but it is interesting because it's like at a certain point you're sheltered too much or you're sheltered not enough.
Or,
how do you walk that line?
Or it's like, or it can be where, forget the homeschooling, forget all of that. You're either sheltered or you're not. Or it's where you're not sheltered, but do you have the attention of your family? You know, do you have the people in your life that are paying attention to you, that are giving you enough love and attention and affection? And can you go to them and talk to them about emotions that you're having that you don't know how to handle or you don't know how to deal with? Can you go and talk to them, or do you bottle that up and keep it within yourself and then let it loose on other people that you care about? You know, do you not talk about it or work through it correctly, and then it comes out in detrimental ways that can ruin relationships, that can ruin yourself, that can just make you completely unhappy? Where is that line of where do you need that, you know?
Yeah.
And I think in Euphoria, you do see like Rue's mom is, I would say, although she does give Rue a lot of freedom, she is like, you need to do this. Like if she catches her doing drugs, you need to do this, you need to do that. What is wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. But then there comes to a point where it's like, when do you quit? When do you give up on that person? Which I don't think you should ever give up on someone.
Well, let's get into that, because I disagree with you.
Really?
Depending on the person.
Now,
actually not depending on the person.
I think it depends.
Depending on the situation, I think it depends.
Now,
if somebody is trying to, I think we should, you know, help each other, help our friends, be there. However, I think it does in some situations get to a point where it's like, I have nothing left to give you. You have taken everything that I can give you, and you're still not doing what you need to be doing with it. So I can't be wasting my energy on this anymore.
I agree. Now, the thing, like, I agree entirely with that. But when I say is that I don't think you should give up on someone, is I think that truly giving up is cutting that person out of your life and not caring.
Yeah, okay, that's different.
I
think it's okay to give up on people. I don't think it's okay to cut people off.
I agree. I feel like if
cut people out,
cut people
whatever.
Off. One of the two. I think that
you know
should.
What I mean.
It goes back to burning bridges. Don't burn bridges. You know. But
especially not if that person is your family or
your family or your friend or someone
yeah.
close to you. Yeah, you shouldn't do stuff like that. I think that giving up on someone isn't what you're saying. I don't think is giving up on someone.
No. I don't think it is either. I didn't think that's what you meant as you're giving up on someone.
What I mean is like, if for me it would be like, I'm not cutting you out, whatever. But it's like, I will always be there for you, but I can't take the energy. Or what was that? The person that came and talked about not like you can be there for someone, but don't let that like lean on you or something. The girl or the person that talked at Point Park in first semester.
I'm not sure. I kind of get what you're saying. I don't know.
What was it that they were saying that, about like when is the time to not like let someone put all their emotional baggage upon you?
Right. And
like, and I think that, like, yes, you can be there for someone, yes, you can support someone, but you also aren't the person you aren't the butler that's carrying the baggage.
Right. And
you
I
can
think
be there to help spread the load in certain aspects, but I don't think that you should be there whenever they've given up on themselves.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the reason that this television program is so wonderful is because like all of the different things that we're talking about, it's shown in there, and
it shows
I think it's really wonderful because even the most like vicious, vile, evil characters, it's so hard to have such a hatred for them because you
why.
See, exactly, like you see why they're doing exactly what they're doing. This horrible thing that this dude is doing, yeah, it's horrible, and I'm not taking away from that, but I understand exactly why you're doing it, and the problem is a lot deeper than just you're an asshole,
Yes.
Which it's great.
Agree.
I think, and this is kind of what brings me back to our conversation earlier, where it's like, sure, it could be argued that Euphoria is a horrible show. It shows way too much. It's not realistic. I don't want my kids to be watching this. But it also, I think, could be argued there is a lot of important stuff that is at least being talked about. And I think it shows a lot of important lessons. Like these conversations are important. I think people should be having them, especially when it comes to drug abuse, mental health, anything.
The whole shebang. I think it's important to, show it in some way. Talk about it, and then process it and go about with how you will, And I think that's what's awesome about Euphoria, because it's such a popular show. It's such a well-done show, and so many people watch it that although it is entertaining, I do think that it is informative in a way to bring to light the terrible things that are happening around us every single day.
I like to think that it is spreading a positive message.
Yeah.
Regardless of the content,
I think it does. I think it really does do a good job of that.
I think so too, but I guess we can't be sure,
Yeah. But yeah. I mean,
that kind of
that was perfect.
Landed nicely, I think.
I mean,
let us know what you think of Euphoria.
What do you think of Euphoria?
Are you watching it? Are you like so against watching it? Are you waiting to watch it? Jance is waiting to watch it. I don't know why, but he is. Shout out Jance from Washington. What do you think? I also am curious to hear what everybody thinks about desensitization and over censorship and all of those things that we talked about.
And listen, we would love to have people come and talk about that with us because, I'm not a scholar, but I do like to think that I'm able to articulate my thoughts pretty well.
Yeah, we are not qualified to speak on anything. We're just a couple of dudes, friends
talking
with some opinions.
Seeing what can happen, what can come of it. And if you'd like to be a part of that conversation, if you'd like to that's what we want to do.
Exactly.
We want to have the conversations that people might not want to have.
Yes, but they got to be had.
Have to.
And you can be on the podcast with us. We can zoom you in on this little doohickey right here.
Or you can be here in real life, be on the camera.
Or you can send us an Instagram message and we'll read it and talk about it for a little bit.
Exactly. But you know what? I think this is a perfect end to the first episode of season 2? I don't know. Season
Whatever.
something. Of our first podcast episode back. I would like to thank all of the fans.
Thank you, fans.
Thank you so much for being there, for messaging us, for telling us we miss you, we want you back. Where are you? When are you guys coming back? It really does mean a lot. And it really does help us drive to continue to do it because, give the fans what they want. You want to hear us? We're here for you.
We're like Nanny McPhee.
Yeah.
When you need us but don't want us, we're here. And when you want us but don't need us, we leave.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's perfect. On that note, my name is Jonah Hartman.
And my name is Kyle Worrell.
And this is BDF.